What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are back with another video talking about our advanced arm wrestling pyramid of pressures. We released a video last week. We got a lot of good feedback on it, and the more we've talked to people and thought about it, we really like this concept, so we want to expand on it a little bit. One of the questions we got about it was about how it relates to the hand. While filming the first video and originally thinking about it, we were pretty sure that we felt like it kind of worked the same in the hand, but we hadn't really thought about it much deeper at that point, and we didn't want to expand on it until we'd really given it some thought and looked at it. So we want to explain how it works in the hand because we do believe it works the same way, basically.
Yeah, so if you remember, there's 3 planes. There is the up-down plane, there is the pad-to-pad plane, and the peg-to-peg plane.
Right.
And then there's 6 actions at the wrist as well, right? So there's rising, there's sinking or chopping, there's pronation, supination, there's wrist flexion and wrist extension.
Exactly, and so the way that these relate to the planes as far as like peg to peg, pad to pad, and up down. So your rising and chopping is obviously your up down pressures. We feel like cupping or flexion and extension, so cupping and kicking back, are your peg to peg plane, and then the rotation, pronation, and supination are your pad to pad plane, pronation being like back pressure and supination being like forward pressure or pushing pressure. And then if you think about how these planes work together in relevance to the last video, we talked about if someone is using a lot of trying to really cut me in and I'm pronating against them, this is an action of peg to peg being dominated by pad to pad, which is one of the sort of rules that we exemplified in the last video. And this would also work with, so if you're gonna drag back on me or try to pronate really hard, if I rise against that, that's usually gonna dominate that. So if you're trying to rotate too hard and I can keep my up pressure and rising pressure, so up down is gonna be pad to pad. So that's how we feel like it sort of correlates, right?
Yep, yeah, and the same thing, like if you're rising, I cup against it, right? That's peg to peg, beating up down, which is again one of the principles that we discussed that works well against each other.
Yeah, and again, the more we analyze this with high level matches, the more we see people just instinctually doing this. As what we're trying to say is that we really feel like this is something that that people that really understand arm wrestling do because they can feel those pressures working. So we're just trying to figure out a way to sort of visualize that and get people that haven't been doing it for so long to be able to understand and conceptualize these pressures so that they can start to find them without having to spend 10 years of kind of goofing around on the table to figure it out.
Yeah.
One of the matches that we want to break down, and we're not going to get into it too deeply in this video, but we really want to break it down because the more we look at it, the more these rules or principles sort of play out, is the recent match with Ungabayev and Irakli.
One of the best matches of all time.
Yeah.
He's Keary is probably the most technical arm wrestler on the planet.
Yeah.
And he executes everything to perfection.
Yeah.
And he really hits his attacks are perfect. They're so precise.
Yeah.
And he just does the exact right thing at the right moment to dismantle Irakli, and it's beautiful.
And I think because what Alex just said, because his attacks are so precise, he's so easy to analyze with these principles that we want to talk about, and especially round 2, even if you want to just for yourself before we get to the point of actually breaking it down, just take a look at round 2 and think about these principles, look at the pressures that Irakli is applying, and then think about the pressures that Bayev is applying to deal with it. I mean, just right off the bat, you know, when they sort of rise together, and then as soon as Irakli hits to the side, you see Ungabayev kind of go with, like, give up some of that side pressure in order to hit back with pronation really hard. Again, pronation being the equivalent in the hand of the back pressure.
And he's not afraid to give up cup if he has to maintain that back pressure and pronation.
Knowing that what Irakli's really going for is that peg to peg pressure, he's gonna sacrifice up down pressure in order, or peg to peg pressure in order to secure more pad to pad pressure. And then there's a bunch of, it just continues throughout that entire match, but we're going to break it down in real depth using these principles and showing how he instinctually is going there. But the main thing is, like Alex said, because he's so precise with his attacks, it's so clear what it is he's doing, because it's so precise. It's just absolute perfection.
Yeah,
arm wrestling perfection.
These are just some more tools that you can take into your next practice. Continue learning the pyramid, and let us know. Give us your feedback in the comments.
Yeah, let us know what you think about those hand pressures. Do you think that they do correlate? Do you not? Let us know if you tried from the last video, how you think this is working. Like, comment, subscribe, all of those things.
And monkeys out.
Peace.